The Genocide Games, that is what Republican Congressman Michael Waltz of Florida is calling the Beijing Olympics in a TV ad. He says NBC won't run this commercial because it calls out U.S. corporations sponsoring the games.
The world's greatest athletic showcase. But just outside the show, rape, genocide, slave labor. American companies are drunk on Chinese dollars, entangled with communist dictators committing atrocities.
NBC Universal telling us moments ago, quote, per NBC Universal's longstanding advertising guidelines, changes to the ad were requested so it could air. With that, we bring in Republican Congressman Michael Waltz of Florida. Congressman, good to have you with us. So what changes were they asking for in order to air this ad?
Yeah, we actually booked the airtime for tonight during the Olympics, and NBC came back at the last minute and said, "Well, we'll run it if you make material changes and you take down all the company logos." Kind of the point, Martha, right? I mean, this was a non-rejection rejection, and at the end of the day, NBC is doing the bidding of the Chinese Communist Party, and all of these companies that preach social justice here at home are turning a blind eye to, I think, was the greatest and most disturbing, disgusting genocide since the Holocaust, and they are they're complicit. They are funding what we said at the end of the ad, which, by the way, was with Inez Cantor Freedom, was stop funding dictatorships. Let's defund the dictators, and to the American people, when you see Made in China, put it down.
Yeah, I mean, this is a statement that came out today about the Uyghur torchbearer, who is a cross-country skier who lit the torch, and everyone was supposed to say, "Oh, look, isn't it wonderful? This Uyghur athlete and this Chinese national athlete, together lighting this torch." And leadership in China said, "This proves, you see, we're all just one family here." So here's what they said: the Beijing Winter Games torchbearers are highly representative and in keeping with the criteria of selection of torchbearers. Oh, this is a soundbite. Sorry, watch. They can say it better than I did. Watch.
The Beijing Winter Game torchbearers are highly representative and in keeping with the criteria of selection of torchbearers. We hope the relevant party can see this in an objective and reasonable manner.
So what happened to that cross-country skier after she lit the torch there, Congressman?
Well, I think that was just as coerced as the Chinese tennis player Peng Shuai, who made a sexual assault allegation, a credible one. She's since been silenced and has now retracted it under coercion. Look, at the end of the day, these companies like Nike, who get their cotton from Western China, Coca-Cola, who gets its sugar, are benefiting and profiting off of modern-day slavery. And again, we're going to call out that hypocrisy, and the American people in the wake of COVID are waking up to it, Martha. When the Chinese Communist Party is threatening to turn off our pharmaceuticals and our supply chains that make our economy go, they know that this is now not just a jobs or a human rights issue, it's a national security issue. And I just heard from a member of my staff who was in a diner in North Florida, and the person next to her asked that the Olympics be turned on, and the waitress said, "Ma'am, we don't support genocide in this establishment." So our message to the American people: we got to start voting with our wallet. And when we have a Chinese dictatorship that talks about replacing the American dream with the China dream, that's not a world I want our kids or grandkids growing up in. And it starts now. We've got to make a stand.
I think there's a lot of people that are tuning these games out because they're feeling, as they watch all of this unfold, what you've been talking about for months and months, that it never should have happened. This shouldn't be happening in the environment that where a million Uyghurs are in concentration camps. I don't know what else you call it when people's heads get shaved and they get taken off in trucks and vehicles and trains.
No, that's absolutely right. And look, the IOC tries to play this game. We don't play politics. It's all just about the sports. Yet they banned the Olympics in South Africa over apartheid. They banned the South African Olympic athletes from even participating for 30 years. Yet they turn a blind eye when it comes to China. And the only difference that I can point to is the amount of money involved. Look, the American people see through the hypocrisy, whether it's these companies or the IOC, and that's why NBC's ratings are in the tank. They've only had about half the viewership that they've had before. And again, but we need a real wake-up call across the country. That's what this ad was designed to do. And NBC's censorship and attempt to do the bidding of the Chinese Communist Party, I think, has only put a bigger spotlight on it.
Well, you've done a great job at bringing attention to the human rights atrocities that are happening in China. And we're going to talk about this every single day during the Olympics because you're not going to see it on other networks like NBC. It's a very important issue. And I encourage everybody to go to the internet, pull up your ad, look at the whole thing. We only played a clip of it here, but it's an important message. Michael Waltz from Florida, thank you very much, Congressman.
Hey, thanks,
Good to
Martha.
have you. You bet.